Okay, mate, let's go to the reigning Premier League champions who were facing Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace have been a bit of a bogey team of late to Liverpool. It was a kick-off. It was Crystal Palace who got themselves off to an early start. Goal from Ismail Assar, I know one of your favourite underappreciated players, performers of the week. Yeah. They get the one goal up. Liverpool, I thought, got torn apart. As leaky as I've seen them, which is a credit to Crystal Palace, but a real bad look on Liverpool and just their defensive structure. I thought the goalkeeper came up with a couple of brilliant saves, one-on-one, Rob, when if he isn't there, one or two of those go in, and Palace could easily have been 3 or 4-0 up at half-time. I think then we all go to the narrative, this is Liverpool, they're not playing particularly well, they haven't scored, there'll be a late goal. Chiesa comes up and gets that late goal, and then we're all like, oh no, here we go again. It's another late winner. It was a late winner, but it was for Eddie Nketiah and Palace and not for Liverpool. I know you, for one, and a few have been saying, like, you have to be careful how they've been playing because something like this is coming. Was that almost exactly, pointing to where you see that defensive frailty and the lack of maybe control that Liverpool would want as champions?
Well, champions, Rob, don't concede many goals, do they? Again, I look back, because that's the sort of thing I do, but I look back and champions, they're not conceding 40 goals over, really, or not many of them are. It's like less than a goal a game conceding, and the rate they're on is not sustainable. We talked about this, Rob, didn't we, recently? It's like, okay, there's a few things that's going on here. They're either going to sort their stuff out here, and they're going to stop the goals going in. They're going to go on. They're going to win a lot of games because they've got a lot of great forwards. Is it the team gelling, just finding their feet a little bit, or is this something that's going to be an issue? And this game says, for now, at least anyway, that the defensive problems we've seen of the goals conceded is an issue, and it come back to hurt them in this game. It was always something was going to give, wasn't it? In this one, both unbeaten. We know that Palace are brilliant defensively for the most part, and Liverpool have been leaky. They changed the front line around a little bit, Rob. I know, again, this is part of the reason at the start of the season where I'm like, Liverpool going to change almost half of the outfield team. And again, you had Florian Wirtz playing off the left, but basically given a free license, an absolute free license to go all over the park to try and get on the ball, which is different. Ekitike was out, of course. So you had
He's started, didn't he?
In front, who's not quite match feet yet. So there's little things that are finding their way through, but it wrapped up in defensively, they're not as strong as they need to be early on in the season to kind of. I mean, I know they won all the games, but this is one of those. There you go. You can't concede multiple goals in games and expect to remain at the top of the league table. So they are still, of course, right now, and we're still on that scenario, Rob, where they might figure it out. But if they don't figure it out, they're going to drop points, and enough not to win the title, in my opinion, if they keep conceding many goals.
Might they spend $40 million in the January window and go and get Mark Gay? Problem solved.
That's a big part of it. I thought Ibrahim Konate had a bit of a nightmare, I'm generally a fan of him. Mateta kind of bullied him many times, particularly in the first half. You're right, Rob. I made the same note. It could have been 4 or 5-0 in the first half. So he obviously, Mark Gay, he would help. Odd game for Gay playing in this, Rob, isn't it? Realising up against a guy that
he could have been playing for.
So that's something. That they might do that in the and they need to, Rob, because the young lad has got a cruciate, hasn't he? Done his ACL.
Giovanni Leone, the kid. He played against Southampton in the League Cup. Looks like he's going to be out for 12 months. So
they really do need a centre back. They really do need Leone and Joe Gomez are very much second tier centre backs. And, having those as cover is risky. You lose one of them, and now, you are 1 or 2 inches away from a real problem. So whether it'll figure out all the... I'm a big believer in team defending, Rob, team attacking, team defence. One player will help, I think, but not... There's more than one central defender, in my opinion, that needs to be more focused defensively to help Liverpool win games, a bit more like 1-0 or keep more clean sheets. So... Again, that is the issue, the nagging issue, and it came back to hurt them late here with a long throw in, wasn't it? Was it a long throw in the last goal? I can't remember. Or the ball
pitches played in, didn't it? It was headed on, and then Gravenberch played him on side.
Yeah,
that was just a little one on that on Liverpool on a slot with Liverpool. Don't know if you saw his press conference, and again, I'm not sure what he was alluding to, or I'm actually not sure why he said it, but he came out in the press conference and said one of my forwards was more worried about running forward and looking to counter-attack than defending the ball coming in the box, and that was possibly the reason why we lost a winning goal. Yep. Which I thought was quite a strange thing for a manager to say, because he wasn't naming a player, so it wasn't like he was pointing the finger, but he's obviously talking to somebody through the media. So straight away, what's the first thing we do? We get the tape, I look around, who's running out? It looks like Cody Gakpo was on the 6-yard box.
Was it?
And then he goes flying out the box, and then as the ball gets played in, he's not in a position, but he wasn't necessarily. But he did come running out of the box a little bit.
He could have stayed. He could have stayed back then, Robin.
He could have just stayed somewhere around that 6-yard box, and he might have been there. Listen, I'm not sure he definitely stops it, but I just thought it was an interesting way the managers communicated
quite honest,
his message.
He's quite honest with his comments, and sometimes it can be quite brutal.
I think he can be quite brutal, and I think it's one of those where he is, he's not Jose Mourinho, name you, shame you, chuck you under the bus, but I think there's sort of ways he gets messages across. We saw it with Trent last season. We've seen it with, other players. Kirchhoff this year when he was on a yellow card and he dragged him off. And
Ekitike's yellow card, Rob, wasn't it? It was a bit harsh.
He jumped on him, didn't he? About the celebration, and he shouldn't be doing it. So I thought it was just another little message from Slot in terms of, listen, this guy's a bad loser. All the champion managers are bad losers, and. He's just making sure that everybody understands that, we've all got a team responsibility. We've got to, I think we've got to talk Palace, Rob, a little bit before we move on, because
we have. Brilliant.
A couple of things that have become apparent, and, I've got good friends at, one of my good friends who's really close at Palace, and I texted him after the game, and he just said, like, this guy in charge is a special guy, mate. And I think the worry for Palace is that his contract runs up at the end of the season, Oliver Glasner, and playing the system that is causing Ruben Amorim all kinds of problem, with the way he brings players in, the way he tweaks things, his tactical understanding, his possession, with and without the ball. I just feel like he's going to be on a few people's radar, mate. A few bigger clubs' radar across Europe, I would say, not just in the Premier League.
You're right, mate. All across Europe. Yeah, it really, really is. I mean, it's a spectacular job to bring a club through to their, I think Rebecca said, the best time of all to be a Crystal Palace fan right now, the best year, 2025, where they've won so much. They're in a position now, league table, which is incredible for them. After regularly losing players. Yeah. I mean, it's your mate Mark Bright. I know he's high up there at Crystal Palace. To try and persuade Glasner to sign a new contract. I mean, that's got to be the club's ambition. I mean, whether it will happen, it seems unlikely given the big jobs and the desire to get a top manager. He's mature. He's good in his press conferences. Tactically shown he can do a very good job, and he's pulled the club have recruited well. Rob, I've always said that about Palace.
Been excellent.
I'm going to jump to my underappreciated, and it's a little bit of a different one this week.
Okay.
But watching this game and the way that Palace defended, I just thought these three central defenders of Crystal Palace, Mark Gahey, Max Lacroix and Chris Richards, the three central defenders, were absolutely outstanding in the game. Yeah. And I get that Mark Gahey is probably appreciated. So there's a little, with him, I get that he's, of course, wanted by Liverpool. But the other two particularly, and the three as a unit, I mean, some of the best defenders in the Premier League as a unit together, as a essential three. So I didn't want to pick out any one, but I just thought the way they defended as a three-man back line, I don't know where it gets much better than that, and what they bring, and the determination, the heart, the heading balls away. Just think they're a really good centre-back triumvirate.
Relationship. Yeah, they work well together. It's a really good shout because, listen, we've seen plenty three at the back, and West Ham were trying it, looked terrible. Man United tried it, looks terrible.
Loads try.
There's loads who can't make it work. So Yeah, it's a really good shout, the three centre-backs, who are sort of unsung heroes in the team. Everybody was talked about. The Elises when they're there, and the Azes and the Tatis and all those forward players. But, yeah, they don't often get it right at the back. And the two wing-backs do a good job for them. So, yeah. Good times for Palace, good times for Oliver Glasner. Knowing Brighton, my mate, he'll talk to Oliver Glasner, and then if he doesn't sign, he'll put him in a headlock and keep him there till he signs a contract, mate. So, we'll see how that goes, though. But good times for Palace, and, beating the champions at Selhurst Park, which opened the door up for Arsenal to them to do their stuff today.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long, and for even more Premier League content from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.